So let's look at adding some windows in. And we're going to do this from level 3. We're not going to do it at level 1 because it's going to crash into this bottom corner. So we're at level 2. And we're going to correct that in a minute. So let's go to level 3. We're going to put the window right in between the minor and the major column. But we don't really get an indication where we're going to place that. So we're going to use model lines to help us out. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a model line from the corner of the column, minor column to the edge of the major column. It's not showing up because I'm in a hidden line mode, so I'm just going to go to wireframe so we can see that line. I'm going to make another model line now going vertical, so I'm just going to come to the center of that one that I just drew, pull that up, and then we can go back and delete this other model line we've created. So I'm going to delete that. Now we're ready to place a window. So I'm going to grab the window, and I'm going to go ahead and place it. And I'm actually not going to concern myself with where it's located because I'm not going to get an indication when I'm over that model line. I just want to make sure it's facing in the right direction. I'm going to grab it again and then use the move tool and just grab a center point on it and move it until it's centered. And let me do that one more time. And I'll grab another point where it's actually showing better a center point. Right there. Let me zoom in here a little. I've got there we go. Whoops. Trying to grab that triangle and center it. And now I can delete this line. And we'll just take a look at this from the front elevation. And then we have our window in place. Looks nicely centered. Might look a little lopsided because of the shadow detail, kind of distracting a little bit. So now we're ready to copy this over, and we really can't use our column lines any longer because we have this varying width of columns. So the technique we're going to use with this one is to use the mirror tool. So we know we want symmetry around this column, so I'm going to grab the window and the mirror tool and mirror it, and then I can actually grab both of these windows and then mirror it around the major column. And now that we have 4 of them made, we can just mirror it. So I'm holding down the control key, selecting all 4 of them. And I'm going to grab the mirror tool and once again mirrored across the whole face. So now we have our full series across the south elevation at level 3. So let's go ahead and grab all these windows and then copy them up and copy them down. So I'm just going to grab them and use the copy tool. And we'll go from this level to that level, and then we'll go down to this level. And you'll notice, as I said, these are kind of crashing into this bottom cornice that we've made right at level 1. And I really want to make that a little bit higher. So I could do this probably a couple of ways, but one of the ways I'd like to do is just move this down. So let's see if I can offset this to -1 foot. And that's going to give me an error because I don't have enough wall element. So what I need to do is let's go to the east elevation and I'll show you what's going on here. It can't move down below the level of the wall. So let me just try to grab this wall here. So what I want to do is I'm going to make the level of the wall. I'm going to offset that 1 foot. So I'm going to come down -1 foot. And that's going to make the wall longer. And if I go to wireframe, you can see all of this. There's our wall lengthened now. And I'm going to grab that cornice now, and I'm going to offset that -1 foot. And it's still giving me a problem here. There it goes. I don't know what that was all about. So let's look at this in a 3D view. So now we have a little bit more space there. And I'd probably fuss around a little bit with that. I don't like exactly how that's sitting so close to the cornice. And you'll see that when we get to some views later on. But now we're pretty well set. We'll look at creating some views of this and actually next creating our storefront.